Hi everybody, and welcome back to Dollspace. I'm TikTok Sam Doll, and this is
Degrassi's Annie Clark. People's Degrassi's Annie Clark.
I was just gonna say, shouts out to People Magazine for really featuring Annie's wedding.
They just posted the article, folks. I think actually I talked about this on
Patreon.
Patreon.
Yeah, but did you tell?
Surprise!
But did you tell them that you were first? It was first listed as Degrassi's Annie Clark and hockey player.
Well,
Luke.
no, because I just learned that a second ago. So the people sent me they put it live first and then asked me if I wanted to make any changes, which I thought was funny. Like, I feel like usually they're like,
yeah,
take a look at the write-up and let us know.
Yeah.
And the headline said Degrassi's Annie Clark. Actually, did it say Degrassi's Annie Clark?
Oh my god, good. Wait.
Degrassi Star.
Oh,
said.
Okay.
I should have told them to change it.
You should have, because this is what Degrassi star Annie Clark weds Luke Karam in castle wedding ceremony, in quotes, dream come true, and then in brackets, exclusive. So they did say exclusive.
They did. They just didn't put the people exclusive photo, unfortunately. But anyway, what the title was before I made them change it was Degrassi star weds hockey player Luke Karam, which is only funny because yes, he did play hockey at a high level, but he was never pro.
And there were a couple pros at the wedding.
Yeah, and there's like actually pro hockey players at our wedding, and like Christine didn't get a people fucking thing for her wedding that was like way
Stanley Cup
huge.
winner.
Yeah, like literally Degrassi star weds hockey player. So yeah. I'm like, what? So anyway, I also knew he would be like, ew, take that out.
Yeah.
So I just wrote to them and was like, yeah, I don't know where you guys also got that information. That's what's funny too, because they sent me all the questions for the article, and they also said like, can you confirm the spelling of your husband's name and like blah blah blah. But in nowhere did it say like, well, and what does he do for a living or anything. So I just figured they would just say like, Annie Clark marries her nobody boyfriend.
Yeah, bullshit, and then, nonsense.
So I'm like, they must have Googled him or something.
And saw that definitely would have come up because he's won all those like
that's the thing. Like in his
St.
pictures, like obviously if you went on LinkedIn, you would see that he's like fully has a job and been working elsewhere in the scrap industry,
scrap metal, for
years. But I think in images, it's like all hockey photos,
right?
So I feel like they just were like, oh, he's a hockey player, perfect. But if
that
you
is a
zoomed
crazy
in,
liberty to take, though. Like,
to find you would hopefully see that the fucking St. Catharines Falcons is not an NHL
he's
team.
He's not playing in the show.
Yeah, he's or like Western Mustangs. It's like, okay, that was 10 years ago or something. So anyway, I wrote like, maybe we shouldn't be calling him hockey player Luke Karam.
Yeah.
Although they did leave it in one part. They took it out of the headline, but then when they were talking about our engagement, they say like, the hockey player got down on one knee, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I don't need to get them to change it.
Oh my God,
That's
imagine someone finds that and chirps the shit out of him.
Okay, well, we already laugh about how, like, when I visited Christine in St. Louis, so she's married to an actual hockey player.
Yeah.
And when we were in St. Louis, we were at the games and we were like, you know, being wags, like in our little seats in the friends and family room.
Wags means wives and girlfriends. I feel the need to say, just because
athletes.
I feel like I've used wives. I've used the term wags in videos many times.
And people don't know.
Of course not. No.
Anyway, and someone I posted pictures of us, and someone commented being like, oh my God, I used to watch you too. Like, love seeing you live your best life. Like, married to hockey players. You guys are just living the dream. And it was so funny because we were there staying with Christine and Jordan. So we were like, I screenshotted that comment, and then we were like laughing, being like, oh my God, being married to hockey players is such, it's such a hard life, but someone's got to do it. And I think Luke commented something back to the girl, and then Jordan commented underneath being like, you're in the union, brother, or something, meaning like anyone who's played hockey is just like in the hockey players'
Luke, this
union.
was on Instagram, and Luke commented underneath. Luke commented?
Yeah, I want to. Oh fuck, my phone's over there. I say that every episode.
Okay.
I go to look at something.
I know.
Okay, go to the picture and I'll find it.
Okay, I don't know what the picture is.
I mean, go to my page and I'll find it.
Okay. I can't believe Luke commented on anything. Like, he does that?
Yeah, I feel like he said something, because I remember Jordan commenting back. But anyway, so that was just funny. And then I was like, you could put like, I was like, he works in the steel industry, and they were like, we're just gonna leave the job off. And I'm like, yeah, better
for sure. Also, like, anybody that's that curious is just gonna look him up anyway.
Yeah,
like,
which I guess they
first
did.
And last name. They did, but they did a bad job of it. I feel like a normal person reading People looks up a name on Google, they'll probably note that it's like a high school hockey thing or a college hockey thing.
Yeah.
Especially People, you're fucking reporters. Like, if you see the word Western, like, assume it's university.
Yeah, or just like do one more Google.
Or
do Googles of all the NHL
they're
teams.
turning these out.
Although, I guess there are some weird, because like we have friends who play in Europe and Russia and stuff like that. And they also have teams I wouldn't recognize, but they're like pro hockey players.
True. Okay, that's true.
So maybe they just are like, oh, maybe he's a pro hockey player.
In Russia.
Christine married one.
Maybe that's what all the Degrassi girls do.
Yeah. I'll still find it.
Okay.
Say something.
Okay. Oh no.
Oh no. I thought you had a lot of things to say.
I'm usually so good at this. I think I've just been like so out of it because all I'm doing is packing up my apartment because we're listing it this week. So
yes.
Annie's at my condo right now, and there's a bunch of shit in boxes. She was supposed to nanny over tonight, which means sleep over. But she can't because we're actually painting, and I told her, why would you want to sleep in a condo filled with paint fumes and boxes? You don't. So go home.
I don't. And you were like, you have to bring your own bedding.
Oh yeah, you have to bring your own bedding. Yeah, all my bed stuff is like somewhere else.
Which I guess would be fine, but the parking garage, I always am carrying a lot of things. I just
for an hour drive, just get the hell out of here, sister.
And honestly, the traffic usually is better that time of night than leaving the next morning. At like noon, so
this weekend we went to St. Catharines and chilled at Annie's house because she had a pool party for her birthday, like a little birthday pool party. And that was after we recorded the last episode of Dollspace, which we recorded in St. Catharines last Tuesday on her actual birthday. And on Tuesday, I got blackout drunk. And on Saturday, Joe got blackout drunk, which led us to the conclusion that her house is dangerous for us. It's too sprawling. It's too big. We're not used to that much space. Indoors,
is that what it is?
I don't.
Space? It's like an altitude thing.
I don't know. Something was
too far south.
It's too far south. I don't know what is happening there, but like Tuesday, I got more drunk than I've gotten in probably a year. I was more drunk on Tuesday than I was at your wedding or my wedding. So there's that. And then Joe could not speak Saturday. Like, he came into the room. We brought Annie and Luca.
I can't find this.
Okay, Patreon.
Just trust me.
Okay, whatever. If you want to go through Annie's super fans.
I wonder if they deleted it. I wonder if they got embarrassed.
The boys?
No, the person.
Oh, the person deleted the comment because they got schooled by two boys?
Yeah.
No, if a NHL player commented on my comment, I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm keeping it up.
Yeah, but not everyone's like you.
Okay, well, who's this pussy that commented on Annie's? Anyway, this is just to say that we brought Annie and Luke a bottle of tequila. Joe drank the whole bottle. Like, it was a little absurd.
Also, like, I don't think it was ever presented to me anyway. So that's why it was so funny when he left being like, brought you a bottle of tequila, drank the whole thing. I was like, cool, you never gave me a bottle of tequila, so you didn't need to say that.
Oh, I whipped it out of my purse and gave it to Luke. I'm like, here.
Oh.
And then he put it on the table.
I never saw it, so I was like, you're outing yourself,
Well,
man.
guess what? There was, you know what? I go to your house and drink from your liquor cabinet enough that I knew that there was an open bottle of Casamigos in the cabinet. So I said to Joe, if you want Casamigos, they have some open in the cabinet. And he just drank the entire bottle he gave you instead.
Well, I also said to him, like, at this point, we're just passing bottles back and forth. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to just be putting that out for a party. So I don't really care who drink. Like, I don't care if one whole person drinks it or if multiple people at a party
multiple people probably drank it, but it was gone. That's the bottom line. It was really gone within a matter of hours. So there was that. I also found out this weekend that my lung capacity is on 10.
Oh my God, yes.
I was blowing up fucking floaties the size of Fat Bastard in Austin Powers. I was blowing up whale-sized...
large avocado size.
I was large up, yeah, but that doesn't tell what it is, right?
You're right. Fat bastard.
Fat Bastard in Austin Powers is actually more like really like a sumo wrestler. Like, I was blowing up sumo wrestler sized floaties, and not like, babe, not for anything. I'm hitting my vape.
Yeah,
it doesn't stop,
and not really taking that many breaks.
No problem.
And, like, not getting embarrassed. I wouldn't be able to, like...
blowing up...
That would have been my problem. And my lung capacity.
Okay, yes, that is so true. That is one of those things. Okay, there's two things that I fucking hate. Well, this isn't one of them. You know that mine is standing ovations.
Oh, yeah.
Clap along standing ovations at the end of a play where it's like clap while everyone bows to a rhythm.
To a rhythm. Yeah. I hate that, too.
approaching people coming down a set of stairs.
Huh?
There is nothing more embarrassing than coming down the stairs. Like, you know when you're at a cottage and the
Oh,
stairs are up
yeah,
high
yeah.
and you're carrying like a charcuterie board or something. Is this so niche?
Watching you for so long.
They're like, you coming? Yeah. You're like smiling at them.
Especially if you've just arrived. So it's like, hi. And then it's like so long before you get there. Hi. And then they like go back to their conversation. Hi.
Yeah.
You brought stuff. And then they're like back to their conversation because you're still fucking walking down the steps.
Yes.
And if you have been to Muskoka or the Kawarthas or a cottage like that, you know what we're talking about.
Yes.
Those cottages where it's
the
all
dock
steps.
is literally 45 uneven steps. So it's not even like you can like casually
Run
just
down them.
You can't run down them. You're like you're like 20 different, like it looks like you're like stumbling down like a flight of stairs. And you're like, oh my god, and then you kind of, I know that
true.
because you want to keep the conversation going kind of so that it's not like you look away at this point. Like it's just like, oh my god, the drive here was so good.
Yeah, but you're yelling.
You have to yell. So it's not like just you silently like looking like a Muppet. Like, I just feel like you look so fucking dumb coming downstairs.
Yes.
And I remember when I was young, like, I didn't go to a lot of cottages, but that was like a thing when boys were around. I'm like, I don't want to go down these stairs in front of a boy.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
That's not something I think about at the time, but now that you mention it, I'm like, oh my god, that is such a niche,
Entering somewhere from far
cringy-
away.
Yeah.
And if it was down a hill, I'd feel the same way.
Yeah.
Be like,
yeah, it's similar to like getting up to go to the bathroom in a restaurant if it's like somewhere.
Oh, and you go the wrong way.
Yeah, or if like you have to figure out where it is en
Yeah.
route and it's like not that intuitive.
Okay, it's so funny you say that because we were at, after I went to Spokehouse the other day, we went to like Kelly's Landing, like one of those, like whatever. And as soon as the chick sat us at the table, she was like, okay, this is your table. Washrooms are right there. And I was like, you are such a girl's girl for that. Because like
that.
girls fucking hate, I don't know why we don't like this because who cares? But there is something, especially maybe when you're on a date and stuff, about like trying to figure out where the bathroom, like why we feel so like, okay, bathroom, you coming? You know what I mean? Like bathroom is such a weird thing for us for some reason.
I know, and I don't know why you feel like such a fucking idiot for not knowing where it is in a building you've never been in. But it's like something about being like standing up while a bunch of people are sitting down
and like looking back and forth.
And you're looking, and then also like what you're going to do is inherently kind of embarrassing. So it's like, even just kind of saying I'm going, just going to the bathroom is kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
Not like with your friends, but in some scenarios. So you're like, at least I want to just like get up and fucking go and look confident while doing it.
Yeah.
But something about like the head on a swivel.
It's probably because there's so few situations where you need to go somewhere that you don't know where it is. Like you don't need to go anywhere, but like you often need to use a bathroom and you often don't know where it is.
You know what was the worst version of this? Because I haven't really had that in a while with the bathroom in a restaurant thing. When we were at Carbone in Vegas for my bachelorette, remember how slippery the floors were?
Yeah, what was up with that?
I don't know, but all the girls were like warning every time one of us got up. It's like, and just remember the floors are slippery. And so that was the ultimate because I got up, I had to slide out of a booth.
Sliding out of
the booth. And then I had to get up, and it's already kind of like a sceney restaurant where everyone's like looking at you, right? I'm wearing a short, silky dress, so I'm already like, is my ass showing? Can't tell.
Yeah.
Am I sweating randomly?
Yeah, I was going to say sweating.
Because I was sitting in a leather booth,
yeah.
and then also I'm in high heels, and the floor's slippery, and I don't know where the bathroom is. So I was like taking the tiniest little steps and looking around, and then I finally get to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, good. And then a girl recognizes me.
Oh, yeah.
In the bathroom.
That was so funny. And then you were like, Christine's here, too.
Yeah.
Which was such a treat. Did that girl come to the table?
She never came to the table. I was like,
she got shy.
We're in that room. And she was like, so are we. Come to our table. And I was like, no.
No,
like,
you come to ours. Like, you're my fan, actually.
And then neither of us ever did. But then she DM'd me. Or she commented on one of our Vegas things.
Oh, okay.
I think my Vegas thing being like, I met you in the bathroom. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, I think I saw that comment. Yeah.
Anyway.
That's so funny.
But yeah, back to the blowing up thingies.
Oh, yeah.
Blowing up floaties.
Yes. Sitting in one place, like veins popping out of your head and blowing.
And I think it's like also you have to be so serious. Like everyone's like chitter chatter, like blah, blah, blah. And then you're in the middle of the conversation where you're just like. You can't laugh.
you were also taking a pizza order. And you were like, Annie was taking a pizza order and I was blowing up this fucking avocado. And she's like, I'll ask Sam. She'll know how many pizzas to get. And she looks at me. She goes, oh, sorry. And I was just like.
No, and guess what? This is how sick this chick is. She is blowing this up, not embarrassed, so serious, not laughing. And then I come over and I'm like, oh, okay, so this many people, how many pizzas? And Sam just goes and just puts up the number 4, like with her fingers. And I was like, wow, that's epic.
It's epic because I don't usually multitask.
I know.
Actually, never.
And I also love that I was like, oh, I hate ordering for a group like this because I just never know how to do it. And I would see you and I'm like, Sam will know what to do.
I do always eyeball it. But I will say.
Well, you did well.
Yeah, I will say I always go high.
Of course.
And so I was trying to go low because I'm like, I know that me and Joe will always order food for people when they're over, and it's like, it's in our fridge for days, and you don't want to eat like fast food days later. It's not even
I threw
like
out the extra pizza.
Yeah, it's not even like the good, even though that pizza was fucking fire.
It was so good. And we actually ordered really well. There was only like 4 slices left.
Oh, that was doughy, good pizza. Annie and I like doughy pizza. We're how the Italians call munja cake. We like munja cake shit. Doughy
Thanks for
pizzas.
lowering yourself down to my level.
I'm with you there. I'm fully a munja cake when it comes to my palate. Yeah. Munja cake means like white, like
it's what like Italians, I guess,
Italians call like waspy, like like Canadians like or Americans, like Annie, yeah, exactly. And it's like people that find like cinnamon gum spicy. That's what a munja cake is. Or I think it comes from just like people that like white cake.
Yeah, just like plain like vanilla stuff.
And if that's what a munja cake is, sign me the fuck up because
I do like munja cake food, but I would say I'm like more. You're more munja cake than me. For sure. I'm more like Joe.
You are. In terms of palate, I'm as cakey as it comes. Yeah. Like I love just cheap fucking shit. like what's it called? Kraft singles, grilled cheese. Oh. Like I just like really munja cake food. I don't give a fuck. I love it. And my parents used to fucking school me for that. They like that was like an insult in my house, being like, what are you, a munja cake? Like, for example, when people back in the day, I don't know if people still do this now, I feel like they do because Gen Z is wild. When people used to wear pajama pants to school and that was like the cool thing to do.
I feel like Gen Z is really doing that.
They really
I feel like
don't
their
give a
whole
fuck.
Like their normal outfits are pajama looking.
That used to be like kind of an edgy thing to do, you know? Like it was like you wore pajama pants when you were like scene or emo or something.
Yeah.
And with like Converse and like whatever, and a Paul Frank shirt. And I remember one time I tried to walk out the door with my pajama pants and my parents were like, you wear clothes to school. Like that is so munja cake. And I was like, but I'm not trying to be munja cake. I'm trying to be emo right now.
And comfy.
Can't be Greek and emo.
I don't think I was allowed to wear pajama pants. I don't think I really wanted to though.
That wasn't your vibe.
No,
that wasn't your vibe.
Not in
at
high
all.
school.
I dressed like Billie Eilish when I was a child. Like I wore like.
See, that's what I mean. Gen Z is like they all look like they're wearing pajama pants.
Yeah, because that's kind of like a. Well, now it looks lazy. I feel like back then, like pajama pants with like a black shirt, like a band shirt, was like a look. But it didn't mean you were lazy. It meant you were edgy. Like now, I feel like kids just like roll out of bed like acne things on their face, like those little like star stickers all over their face.
You don't think that's on purpose? A look? I feel like people do that when they like don't even have a pimple, and then they like put it on as like a. I feel like it's trying to be. You know what? It's like a cool thing now. Everyone says like, "Oh my god, I dress like Adam Sandler." Like everyone says that now.
Yes, which is by the way just tracksuits.
Yeah, and like basketball shorts and like oversized things. But it's kind of like it's become like people. So many people say it now, where it's like
it's not even cool.
Yeah, it's just like
it's mainstream.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say then, because I feel like the pajama pants thing never made it to mainstream. It's not actually. Maybe it did when Lindsay Lohan was in Freaky Friday, because I feel like she was wearing like plaid pants all over that movie.
Yeah,
that was the look though. That's like she got the look that like I was trying to go for. Like little.
Yeah, it was kind of punky.
It was punk.
Yeah,
it was trying to be, or it was pop punk.
Yeah,
it wasn't fucking full punk. Don't
come for me. All
the fucking punk ass
true head punk listeners.
Anywho,
wait, what? I was gonna say one more thing about munja cakes.
That you love pickles?
Is that it can also be like a behavior, not just a food.
Yeah,
it can be like
curt.
Yeah, or like being not generous, or like a bit not cheap, not chet, but like not, European people are just like, oh my god, what's mine is yours. Yeah. Like, here's all the food I made this and blah blah blah. Munja cake behavior is like...
Yeah, like, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like you don't feel very welcome. It's a colder environment.
Yeah, or it's like making you something and bringing home the leftovers or something.
That
like,
is the most Munja cake thing in the world. You bring something to someone's house and you take the rest home. Yeah. That is like...
Or like bringing, like, let's say, okay, like, for example, at my party, if, like, you guys got us that bottle of tequila, if I choose to put it out at the party, which I guess I did, but, like, imagine you guys brought tequila. It wasn't my birthday. It was just a party. And then you guys brought it, and then, like, there was, like, that much left, and then you just, like, brought it home.
Insanity. That would be absolutely insane, especially if everybody was drinking it. It's one thing. Okay, we have a friend that she's like the only one that drinks Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Katie. We'll call her out by name because we call her out in every podcast. Katie is like the only one that drinks Chardonnay. Yeah. So when Katie comes to my house and she brings a bottle of Chardonnay, she brings it for herself because I don't have Chardonnay in the house.
That's different. That's not bringing something when you come over. That's like bringing what you want to drink.
You are bringing what you want to drink. And when she leaves, she takes the Chardonnay, and that is the right thing to do because she knows that that's just going to sit in my fridge and I'm going to pour it down the sink. Yeah. But I think that is the exception to an otherwise universal rule where if you're bringing something to my house, it's a party, whatever, you bring like 6 beers and you drink 4, leave the 2. Yeah. Like, what are you fucking going to take 2 beers home with you? Like, leave it.
Yeah, I agree. And I do think the environment or the whatever the type of hang does make a difference. Because, like, let's say, like, we're hanging with the girls tonight.
This is more casual.
Yeah, so it's not like for a purpose. Yeah, I feel like maybe if we're all just bringing what we personally want to drink. Yes. And then... I feel like then if you don't drink it, then you just bring it home. But there is something to, like, to a party and bringing something to the host.
You're hosting us, yeah.
And also, there's plenty of times where it's sort of like, maybe you do want to bring it home, but then leave it to the host to be like, oh my God, take this rosé. Like, I'm not going to... You do that all the time because you don't drink wine.
Oh, yeah.
So people come and you're like, please, you'll give me other people's wine because you're like, oh my God, I'm not going to drink this. And someone left this here. Like,
it's so funny when you have another Euro vibe in there because then it becomes a war of 2 things that people, like, don't give a shit about. Like, for example, Sam Metaxas, whose wedding I'm going to this weekend, and I'm very excited for. Yes. She's Greek, if you can't tell by her last name, and we grew up together, so we're both Greek Sams, and whenever she comes over, she drinks wine. And there was this one time, it was so funny, like, I was like, oh, open this bottle of wine. And she's like, I couldn't possibly open it. I'm like, open it. No one's going to fucking drink it. Just open it. Like, please. So she opens it, and she has a couple glasses, and then it's time to go home. And I'm like, okay, take the wine home with you. And she's like, I am absolutely not taking the wine home with me. And I was like, no, you absolutely have to, because then what the fuck did I open this for? And she's like, I told you not to open it. And I'm like, but you wanted it, and I'm not going to drink it, so just fucking bring it home. But that's the only time. See, that's more classy. You got to fight a little bit. It's kind of like fighting for the check, right?
Yes.
Like, you got to put up a fight.
When I was a kid, I never understood that. Like, I would be out for dinner with my parents and their friends and stuff, and I would see these grown adults fighting over who can pay, and I'd be like, the fuck? Let them pay it. Like, what are you guys fighting for? This is insane.
Because it's all pretend. It's all just...
I know. Well, then you grow up and you're like, oh, you have to do the dance. Yeah, like, it's about so much more than paying the check. But when you're a kid, you're like, someone just paid so we can get out of here.
Yeah, and so many things are on principle, you realize when you're an adult. It's like, well, I know that they owe me a dinner because I got them last time. But I'm still going to pull out my wallet and be like me and then hope that they go, no. You got me last time. I got to get... Yeah.
No, really. I chose the restaurant.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Great. Okay. By the way, I
love that we never know what the hell we're going to talk about. You just press go and
and off to the races. Off to the flippin' races. Okay, let's get into some questions because we accidentally just talked for like half an hour about whatever the hell that was. Stairs and going down the stairs and blowing up pool floaties and whatever the fuck. Okay. Well,
anything going on with us? I guess we can say that on Patreon.
Yeah. Let's just say that on Patreon. Okay. Yeah, I actually feel like I need to spill some tea on Patreon. Mm-hmm. I feel like I have some influencer tea to spill. There's nothing more fun than when influencers talk shit about other influencers. Am I right?
I like hearing about that a lot.
Me too. It's my favorite thing, and I love when
And I even like it when I learn about someone new, like when it's not someone I know.
Me too. Do you know about Plan Brie and fucking Grace O'Malley? Okay, maybe I'll talk about that.
Didn't you already tell me about this?
I told you that, like, everybody thinks their friendship's fucked up. She's dating Zach Bryan.
Yes. Okay.
Brianna...
Chicken Fry.
Yeah.
I know about her.
She's all over my For You page now. It's so funny, like, how different influencers will just like blow up your for you page all of a sudden. It's like there's people that you know that I've never heard of, and then there's people that I feel like are the only people I see that you've never heard of. Like,
also, is TikTok showing old videos?
Yes.
So weird.
And it's doing a weird thing now. I made a video that fucking flopped like a week ago. It like not flop, but usually like if my videos are under 100,000, I consider them kind of like, okay, that one didn't take off. Maybe I'll post it on Instagram and like whatever. It did like 70,000. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then I fucking look this week and it's at 500,000. And that never used to be a thing with TikTok. It blew up when it blew up. Like Instagram, I find is like you can post something and then 2 weeks later it can blow up. Like I don't know how Reels work as much, but TikTok I find like if the numbers are shit, the numbers are shit. And my last 2 videos blew up days later. And I'm like, that's so weird. That's never happened in like the 4 years I've been on the app.
So weird. I was on the Dollspace TikTok and I was scrolling and then my video from doing my hair and makeup trial came up and I'm like, what? This is so random. So like, why am I seeing this? But
I know. I've noticed that when I'm on different TikTok accounts too. Okay, the subject to this question, which we're getting into right now, is break or break up. Hi, Sam and Annie. I'm curious to hear your takes on when breaking up or taking a break is actually beneficial to a relationship and what you think would need to happen for those two people to come back together and have a successful relationship moving forward. Thank you. Love the pod and hearing your opinions. Oh, thank you.
I mean, I think it should always probably be a breakup. Yeah. And then if you come back together, then it's like, wow, that was a break. But like, I've talked on here about how Luke and I broke up for like only 2 months or 3 months or something. But that was a breakup.
That was a breakup, yeah.
Like, it's funny because now we look back on it. Now we're married and have been back together far longer than we were ever together the first time. And so now in the grand scheme of things, I'm like, oh my God, that was like a 2-month break and we didn't know it. Yeah. But I feel like
the intention was a breakup.
A breakup. And I just don't know that a break, you're really going to get what you want. And I feel like you're going to end up.
I don't think a break ever works.
And like, if you want to, a break's tricky because it's like, are you allowed to hook up with other people during this break? Whatever. Like a breakup is like very black and white. I know what the rules are. So if we get back together, no one can be mad about that. But I do feel, I mean, it's tale as old as time. Yeah. Exactly. It's the friends thing. It's like, well, they were discussing whether they even were on a break or not.
Yes, which is why you should make it very clear that you are broken up.
Yes. But also, I feel like even if you can agree that you're on a break, it's like those rules are still so nuanced.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I don't know. And I just feel like that stuff will keep coming back if you get back together.
And I feel like breaks, since you don't actually, like, I feel like every time I've gone on a break, it's always been like, okay, like you have a conversation, oh my God, we're like kind of on a break, we're breaking up, it's like ambiguous, whatever, you're crying, whatever, and then like literally a week later, like it's almost like a break is part of your relationship, like it's fun, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like it's some drama that you get
drama.
To insert.
It's literally only drama. It's not doing really anything, because I feel like whenever I've been on a break, it's been like I'm on a break, but I can still like message you if I want, and like I feel like Alex and I actually took 10 breaks. Yeah. And there'd be like a month where I wouldn't talk to him, or like 2 weeks where I wouldn't talk to him. And then I remember like one time, one of the breaks we were on, I was working at the Christmas market, and I went to El Catrin, and I sat at the bar, and I was just like, I'm just going to text him, like whatever, because we weren't broken up. So I just texted him, and I was like, I work at the Christmas market now. It's been like 3 weeks. I had been working at the Christmas market now, and like it would be nice to see you, and like whatever. And then we were just texting back and forth, and he came and picked me up, and okay,
back together.
Great.
I guess.
Guess what? Nothing happened. Like there was no significant change in our relationship, and I think with like breakups, you actually give the person the chance to try
work on things
and work on things. I would also say, not for anything, I'd say that you and Isabel, our other friend who's married after going on a break with her husband, are like, I feel like it's a 60-40 chance that it won't work. Like usually if you have to break up, like I don't know, I feel like it's not very common that it'll work. I think you and Isabel are, I've always said Isabel is the major exception, because I feel like they broke up a few times.
Yeah, and for longer periods.
And they're like
me and Luke, in hindsight, that was just a small break.
Yeah.
But at the time.
Isabel and her husband were broken up for like over a year.
Yeah.
And I actually think like in that case, both of them, like it's like crazy. Like that like never works.
The thing is, you can't know what the outcome's going to be. So that's the thing with break and break up. It's like you have to just make a decision, and what will be will be. Yes. And it's like only looking back can you realize what that was, or like if that was good or bad, and kind of like assess whether it was a break or a breakup or whatever. Yeah. But like you can't go into the situation being like, oh, we're gonna take this amount of time off
and it'll
from
probably
each other,
be fine,
and we'll work on these things, and we'll change whatever. Like I don't know what the problems are, but then you're magically just gonna both want to continue. I just feel like that's so rare that you might as well just break up and then work on your shit.
Yeah.
And then if you guys actually want to be together in the future,
then that's actually
just
beautiful.
will. Like it will happen, because we know people who that's happened to. But both me and Isabel didn't go into it thinking that wasn't our plan.
No, absolutely not. But it also wasn't your plan, or that was your plan with your first boyfriend.
That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah, okay, go on.
Well, we did a planned break.
Everybody does the planned break
but we were like, let's do it for 5 years. Like, so we broke up. It wasn't like, but the idea was like, let's get back together in 5 years.
Romantic.
Because we were like, oh, at 24 we'll be ready to get married.
Yeah. So insane.
And we lived our lives. I dated like 2 other people. Fully was like, okay, I'm doing it. We're broken up. And then he actually did come back in 5 years, and we actually did try again, and ultimately decided no.
So crazy.
But it's more just like, you don't even have to have, like, if he had come back in 5 years, been like, okay, this was our plan, and I was like, no, I'm not interested. Mm-hmm. He can't be like, well, no, because we said that it was a 5-year break. It's like, well, sorry, bitch, I changed in 5 years. Yeah. So it's like, whether you say it's a break or not, you can't hold anyone to that.
No.
So whatever happens on this break, guess what? It might be a breakup anyway.
Right.
Because
so
they might change.
You're either going to want to be together. You're both going to agree that you want to be together.
Whether
you're
you
both
call it that or not.
It doesn't matter.
And I know this because I know saying let's go on a break makes you feel better in your head. And whether it's a breakup, don't you always kind of have in your mind like, well, maybe in the future.
Oh my God.
But like, even with my boyfriend that never texted me back, like when I broke up with him, I was like, oh, but like maybe like he'll grow up, and like in the future these won't be problems. Like, I don't care. Like, obviously as the future came, I didn't, and then I met my husband, but I didn't want that anymore. But like, of course those are things you say to yourself to make yourself feel better in a breakup. So just break up, and then in your head go like, but we'll probably still want, and maybe you will.
You'll probably fuck at least once or twice anyway.
For sure.
Like,
but the label of break and breakup makes no difference in that case. You can just as easily hook up with an ex.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's the thing. The reality is the reality no matter what label you put on it. So if someone moves on during your break or your breakup, it doesn't fucking make a difference. Like, and same thing if you both want to be together after that. So it's like, just break up.
The only reason if we're saying the label doesn't matter, then it's like, okay, then why not go on a break? My only reasoning would be,
they can throw it back in your face later if you do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, whatever happens on this break, I feel like needs to be discussed more. Like, rule. Like, it's just, if you guys want to do that, if you want like a planned break where the rules are discussed, I guess go for it.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just like, make it a breakup. It's black and white. If you guys do ultimately want to be together, you just will. Like, nothing is going to prevent you from that.
Also, I feel like when you're younger, breaks are kind of to like experience more. Like, let's say, I don't know if you're like a teenager or like early 20s or whatever. A lot of people go on breaks to experience more. Yeah. Break up then.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
or else you won't experience.
Exactly.
Because part of experiencing is going out to the bar and having like shitty nights where no one hits on you, or you don't meet anyone you don't like. Like, that's part of the whole thing. That
is so true.
And if you do that, and at the first like night like that you get, you just go back to your ex, you're never gonna get what
Yeah,
you
you'll
want
never experience.
Part of the fun of meeting someone randomly out one night is because you had nights where that didn't happen.
Yes, 100%. Shitty nights are so clutch.
Yes, you have to have them.
Very true. Oh my God, I've had so many.
But you
shitty
know,
nights.
if you have someone waiting in the wings, you never truly have.
You never
that.
really do that. No,
I know.
No, because you always no. In fact, I find that that's how your relationship gets worse and worse. Because I don't know. I've had one of those relationships that was just like sticky, like. Same guy I'm just talking about, like, but like, I feel like every time I had like any chance of hitting on someone, like it was just kind of like sullied because did I use that word?
You did.
Bravo. It was just kind of sullied because I was like, okay, I don't actually have to try. I've got this kind of like Chet relationship that I can always fall back on, and for
of
that
course,
reason,
when you're comparing to that relationship, it's like someone you're comfortable with, and then this brand new person. Yeah. Your feeling is going to be like, oh, see, this is why this person is so much better because of whatever. But you're like, no, you actually just need to try with someone new.
It's
like,
so true. And it's so funny because like I always used to say this back then. I used to be like, it's so annoying that when you have sex with someone after a breakup, you go from like the most comfortable sex in the world to the randomest, weirdest sex in the world. And they're unfortunately back to back.
Yeah.
Like... That's annoying. So
the
obviously,
two extremes are like back to back,
especially like if you were in a long-term relationship and then you like were with your boyfriend and then the last time you fuck and then you fuck this random guy. That is the worst feeling in the world. Fucking someone random after your. But you got to do it. You got to do it so you can eventually get over it. Like you have to do it.
And you already have rose-colored glasses for your ex.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, see,
I'm not ready, guys.
Yeah, I'm not ready, guys. Like,
okay, I'm not ready, guys. Is a thing I said when me and my ex broke up and we were walking down the street and I like wasn't dating. I was off dating because it was just, I don't know. Because
you had gone on a few dates that were making you really sad.
Devastated.
Yeah.
They were devastated.
So you were like, I actually need to take a break.
I actually just can't like date men, period. Like I just can't do anything. And we were walking down the street and we passed this place in Toronto called Carbon Bar and it was rated the top date.
Still have never been.
You know what? No one's taken you on a good date then. And neither have I actually.
Okay, bitch.
It was listed in fucking Toronto.
Maybe we should go.
Maybe I should take you. Best date spot in the city in 2017. Okay. So I don't know if it's still that or if it even exists. I don't know if COVID
doubt it.
Did COVID wipe it out? Anyway, we were just walking down the street and someone was like, oh, Carbon Bar. And I was like, oh my God, Carbon Bar, the best date spot in the city. And then was like, I'm not ready, guys. And they were like, no one.
No, she's like, yeah, the best date spot in the city. Yeah, I really want to go there. I feel like you paused and then went, but I'm not ready, guys. And we were like, yeah, no worries. Like, whenever you're ready.
I'm not ready, guys, is wild.
Whenever you're ready. Like, you were so earnest about it. Like you were making a note in your head, like, I want to go there, but I'm not ready. And I have to let the girls know I'm not ready. But we do say that a lot.
And this was like
now.
a West Wing walk and talk. Like we were walking down the street.
Past Carbon Bar.
Yeah.
Find out if it's still with us.
Yeah, I will find out if it's still with us.
I would like to go.
Anyway,
Although I feel like no one goes there. Like I have never ever heard of one person going there. Maybe in 2017.
I typed in carbon, it's just like carbon tax. Yeah, it's still there and it's got great desserts and catering and there's a retail section and it's on Queen East.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe we should go.
All right, guys, you heard it here first. Carbon Bar.
I'm ready, guys.
Guys, I'm ready too. All right, let's get to our next question.
Okay.
Which is, how long is this? Oh my. Okay, little novella going here. Do we want to do a novella or do we want to do running into a psychotic ex?
Why don't, I guess.
Okay.
I was going to say, why don't you read me both headlines and I choose?
Okay, the first one, the novella one was, am I too nice or an asshole? LOL. And it's about, I think it's about like organizing a night out.
Oh.
And needing money back.
Oh, that sounds interesting. But
but you want the Psycho X
I kind of do.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. What do you want?
I don't know. Okay, let's do the Psycho X one because then we can see like if we have time. Guys, we have a dinner after this, to be frank with you, and Annie's driving back to Toronto. I mean, no, St. Catharines, where she lives, which I have to get through my thick skull. Running into a psychotic ex. Hey, Sam and Annie, I love the pod. I wanted to write in and ask if you guys have ever had a crazy ex. Oh, I love this question. I, 22-year-old female, have an insane one. We broke up over a year ago. I haven't heard from him since November after blocking him on everything. I live in a smaller city and have been nervous about going out because I'm scared to run into him. He would definitely beg for me back or maybe even cause a huge scene. Ooh. He has been in a new relationship that I heard recently ended and I'm I also am in a different relationship now. I heard from people that knew his most recent girlfriend that he was constantly talking about me, so I know he's not over it. I'm such a catch. I'm not sure if it would be better to run into him when I'm out alone with friends or with my new boyfriend. I only wonder because he only started kind of leaving me alone when I told him I had a new boyfriend. I feel like that may have made no sense, but hopefully you guys can decipher what I'm getting at. Anyways, would love any advice or just some funny, crazy ex stories you guys have experienced. Love you guys. Thank you for all you do. You get me through the workday. Aw. Did you? Okay.
This is all you.
Okay. One thing about me is that I have crazy exes, and I've also been the crazy ex that like shows up places, and Annie knows this. My jam was showing up at my ex-boyfriend's work, like with like sobbing, like with a letter, and like dressed like letter in my pocket, just being like, you need to read this letter. And he'd be like, I am busy. Like by the way, he worked at a bar, and it would be like fully sat, and I'd go in there and I'd be like, I'm just gonna walk over. It was Playa Cabana in Toronto, for those of you who know, you know.
Which was around the corner from
our house. It was around the corner from our house. So it was so easy. I'd just get hammered and I'd be like, oh my God, and then walk a block over to where he just was. That was also why it was so annoying getting over him. He literally worked down the street, and this is just a side note, this is just a funny story, but I would try and time like walking outside for when I knew his shift would start. So his shift would start at like whatever, 5 o'clock. It was like he was like a bartender, and I would like just pretend to be like going to like the mailbox or like to the convenience store or whatever, so that he would like see me outside like walking. And for 3 years I did that. And like I knew he worked every Sunday at like 11 a.m. I knew he worked like Saturday, whatever, for 3 years. I do not know how. So then I start thinking he's got to be taking a different route. I don't know what. Yeah. He had to be, because I'm like, why aren't you passing my house? Like, I'm outside. I'm waiting for you.
And I know what time you start work.
And I know what time you start work, because I worked at the sister restaurant for a while still. So I had his schedule too. So I'm like, this should be easy. It should be so easy for me to look hot and run into this guy. This is after I stopped going into his restaurant sobbing. And it never fucking happened. And one day, I was looking out the window because my window faced the corner of the intersection that he would have to go through. So I'm like, okay, well, if he's turning off of, it was on Davenport. I'm like, if he's turning off of Davenport, I will see it through my window, because he has to at least get to this intersection before he goes a different way. So every fucking Sunday morning, I'd be like hungover, and I'd stare out the fucking window. This is not answering your question, but I'll get to it. And I'd stare out the window, and like it would be like 11 o'clock, and I'd just wait for his car to go by. I'm like, what the hell? He's just never coming by. Okay, so one day I'm staring out the window, and my friend who was my fucking friend, she literally wrote this.
Who also worked there. Who, like, obviously she knows that I'm broken up with this guy because we all work together, and, like, I'm devastated. But, like, I don't think she knew that I was pulling this shit. I don't think, like, anybody really knew that I was going for these, like, scheduled walks. And, like, I'd walk all the way down Rosedale Valley Road. Anyway, one day she calls me, and I'm, like, staring out the window. And my phone rings, and it's her. I'm like, hello? And she's like, what the fuck are you looking at out your window? And why do you look so sad? And she was at the intersection just looking up, and she sees me, both head in both hands, just staring. I'm like, oh my God, thank God you called me out on this, because is this what I fucking look like? If he looked up, this is... No, you could see yourself.
I don't know what I fucking thought. I was like, I'm high up. He's not going to look up, even though, of course he's going to look up. It's my bedroom window.
See. Yeah.
If anybody listening to this...
And it's right on the corner, like, so easy to see if someone's in that window.
Yes. If anybody listening to this lives in Toronto and you are near the intersection of Avenue Road and Davenport, there is the northwest corner is a convenience store that is now uninhabited because they're going to break this building down. So that's why we don't live there anymore. But anyway...
Yeah, that's why.
That's why. Oh, yeah. You wanted to leave?
Well, also, we, like, got married.
Oh, yeah.
And bought homes.
Yeah,
like
true.
We're in our 30s.
True, you're right. We haven't elevated.
Would still move back.
Oh, fuck yeah. Could have a riot. If we renovated that place, we would have a riot. But anyway, it's 2 windows above the convenience store. And if you look at it, it is a massive window. Like, of course you could see me staring out the window. And get this. One day, I'm fucking going to work. And I walk out my door. And Alex rides by on a bike. And he whistles at me or something, like, you know, how men can whistle. And I, like, at this point, it was like 4 years later, I was so not expecting, and I started dating Joe, I'm not kidding, that week. And I was like, what the fuck? The universe did something so weird here, where, like, I got sent a Fenty highlighter that week for free. So I was like looking my best. I put on a new Fenty highlighter. All my shit was from the drugstore. I'm like, wow, I look stunning. And I like walked out the door to go to work, and he was like, hey, and I was like, hey, and then I like walked to work being like, why?
It always works that way.
Why was that the way this went down?
But at least you looked great.
I looked great. But to answer your question about psycho exes, because I don't know if that painted me in a good light.
You actually said you tried to do everything that this girl is hoping doesn't happen.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I was your ex. But to answer your question, what you need to do if someone is acting like that is absolutely shut them down. Like, people don't get to, and I'm speaking for myself, and I'm speaking for exes that have pulled this shit with me. I'm speaking about friends that I've cut off. People don't get to bully you into hanging out with them or talking to them or having a conversation with them.
Or rehashing.
You don't have to do shit. Like, you are completely entitled. Like, if Alex did see me walking to work every day and he rolled down the window and he said, bitch, you are out of your mind and like fucking enough, I'd be like, okay, yeah. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, and that's actually how we broke up. He had to literally be like, I want nothing to do with you. Get the fuck out of my restaurant. I'm working. And he had to actually scold me. And obviously that was great because I could go home and be like, oh my God, he's so mean. But it's like, no, like, people don't get to like stalk you and bully you into fucking dating them or like, or making you feel bad about breaking up with them. Like, sorry, I didn't want to hang out with you. And it's so funny that I was like this because this is literally my least favorite quality in people, when people think you owe them something because you dated or because you were friends. Okay, so fucking what?
Well, I changed my mind. Also, it's even crazier when it's like he's dated someone in the case of the person who wrote in, he's dated someone in between. And then I really hate, because my first boyfriend would do this where it's like, and who wasn't crazy, normal guy, but it's sort of like, we're dating other people, you are too, but then every time you break up with someone, it's like my problem again. Like, you actually realize I was the one and we have to do this dance all over again. And then I say no. And then
you're devastated.
And then you get a new girlfriend and I'm like, okay, great. And then you break up with that girlfriend and guess who you want to get back with again? Your first girlfriend. It's like, it's just weird.
And you know what's weird? It would be one thing if you were
And it doesn't make me feel like it's real because it's like...
Makes me feel like you're lonely.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? It would be one thing...
And I'm going to entertain this.
Sorry to shit on this ex specifically. It would be one thing if every time he broke up with his girlfriend, you were free and you had like, and you weren't like, you know, dating anyone and you had like amazing sex and you were like the fallback, like whatever. Like, it's normal to have someone like that. What this boyfriend did that pissed me off is that he didn't care if you were dating someone or not. Yeah. That's what makes it worse. Like, it's so much more selfish. It's like, hey, now you're just fucking bothering me. Like, I have a life. You don't get to fucking come over every Christmas and cry in my living room. I have a boyfriend. Like, fuck off. So, to answer your question, if you run into this guy, literally just tell him to fuck off. Be like, I'm dating someone else, and nothing you say is going to change that or make us get back together. Yeah. And I think you need to get that through your head because all I hear is that you keep talking about me, and it's not happening. Yeah. If you feel safe to do so, of course.
And I mean, the fact that you're saying, I'll probably run into him when I'm with my girlfriends or my boyfriend, it's like, those are two great people to run in with him.
Both are great options.
Because he'll obviously, hopefully, feel uncomfortable if it's your boyfriend. If it's your girlfriends, they'll rally around you 100%. And be like, go away.
Yeah. I have an ex that every few years will send me like insane messages like, I'm not dead yet, are you?
Yeah, this is the guy I was thinking about.
Oh, I was thinking of myself. But
no, that was a fun take.
That was a fun take, yeah.
Subversion.
Indeed.
But yeah, I was thinking about River.
Yes, River, honestly, like, thank God he's such a narcissist, because I know there's no way he would listen to this because he thinks he's better than everybody in the world and would literally never take time to listen to this, which is why I call him out by name so often. Alex, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing calling him out by name. Hope he's well. Hope you're well. But anyway, he was my craziest ex, and he would like...
River.
Yeah, River. And he actually like... He didn't scare me because he was such a fucking loser. I was like, okay, even your scary behavior is... Yeah, eat your blintz. Annie's going to eat her blintz while I talk about River. But I got Annie a blintz.
Say what a blintz is.
A blintz is like... I think it's like... This is from a Jewish bakery, and it's like a crepe that...
Yeah, it's like a crepe
It
wrap.
looks like a Hot Pocket, but there's apple in it. You can put other things in it. I had a beef blintz earlier. It was delicious. Love it. Anyway, that's what a blintz is. Anyway, this boyfriend, he was like, actually, got psychosis. Like, he had like a drug-induced psychosis where he thought everybody like wanted to kill him. He was like, you're not a woman, I'm a woman. Like,
What?
did I tell you that? Where he's like,
He's
what?
a woman?
He's not, though. He's like, what?
No, I know.
No, I know, but he's not even trans, I'm saying. Like, he doesn't even really think he's a woman. He just said to me, he's like, what makes you more of a woman than me? It's funny because, like, honestly, this was very woke. But at the time, this was like 2009, I was like, bitch, what?
You're like, oh, my vagina?
Yeah, I literally said that. I was like, I don't know. He's like, what? Because you have a pussy? And I was like, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Guys, the rhetoric wasn't here. The rhetoric wasn't there to, like, unpack this. But at the time, he was also saying, why I'm death. I'm like, oh, you're death. Cool. Like, he was fucking crazy. Like, I don't know. That was actually probably the only woke thing he said.
I don't think he was trying to be woke.
He was not, but he accidentally said that gender was fluid. But really, he was just trying to be like, you're not even a woman. Like, I'm a woman.
He was testing the waters.
He was testing the waters. He's still a man. I've seen from LinkedIn. He is still a man.
LinkedIn?
Yes.
He has a job?
I found out. I think he's self-employed. I think he's got his own, like...
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, honey.
I love being self-employed with you, Annie. Because it's like both of us are. Anyway, long story short, he would literally, like... He showed up outside my house. He was, like, throwing shit out my window. He'd, like, call me from random numbers. He harassed my parents.
Yeah, he was actually...
He was unhinged. He was an unhinged
scary.
man. And he would, like, knock when he was still friends with my cousin who lived downstairs from me at Avondale. He would, like, come and knock on my fire escape. Like, he was, like, a spooky dude. And, like, every few years, and, like, obviously as we've grown up, my cousin stopped talking to him, too, because he's just, like, a crazy dude. And that's how we met. My cousin and him were best friends. So it's crazy. Like, they even stopped talking. And now I think the last time I heard from him was 2020. And it was, like, a Facebook message that just said, I'm not dead yet. Are you? And then he deleted that account or blocked me from it. Like, it would always be from, like, different Facebook accounts. And, like, he can't really get in touch with me because he doesn't know my phone number. Like, he's blocked. If he still has the same number, that number has been blocked for fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
Facebook, I never check. So I'm kind of like, okay, if you send me one message every 2 years asking me if I'm dead yet, I guess whatever. Like, but if he was actively trying, like, when he...
If you lived in a small town, though, that would be annoying.
If we lived in a small town, I would straight up tell him to go fuck himself. I'd be like, well, actually, he was actually scary. I don't know. Maybe. It depends how scary this guy is.
I know.
If not, honestly, fucking unblock him, get him to send you a million messages and show them to the police. If it's, like, a real concern.
Yeah.
Like, unblock him and then just see how many messages he sends you and then go to the police and be like, fucking, I don't know what to do. If you're scared of him. If you're not scared of him and just need to tell him off, then just fucking tell him off. Some people just need to learn, and they think your silence is complacency, when really it's just like, I'm ignoring you.
And, like, some people really can't handle that things are just done, and so at least if you're, like, still engaging them in conversation, it's like something.
Yeah.
Even if it's bad.
Yeah.
So I feel like people like this, correct me if I'm wrong.
I would know.
You know, like,
you
the
don't
drama
think it's done.
of it. Yeah, you're just sort of like, even if we're, like, fighting about this, and, like, if like, you with Alex, you're like, oh my God, if we ran into each other in a bar and I, like, was trying to talk to him about our relationship or something, even if he, like, told me, like, even if he was trying to be, like, nice and have that conversation with me.
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't work.
That would feel like, this is
he
still...
He needed to tell me to quite literally fuck
exactly.
myself. Otherwise, I was just, like, delusional and psychotic.
Yeah.
And guess what? To put a pin in that story, a year after this, like, after I stopped talking to him, like, everything, I showed up at his work middle of the day. Do you remember this?
On purpose?
Yeah, I ordered a bunch of takeout.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went and picked it up, and I hadn't seen him for a full year.
Yeah.
But I was reeling. For the year.
And isn't this, you told yourself, like, in 1 year, if you still care...
If I'm still this sad in 1 year...
You can do something
You can do something about it. And it literally, I had a notes app in my phone, and I wrote in it every day, and I have it on my email because I sent it to one of my friends when she was going through a breakup. I was like, don't text him, text in the notes app. And there's, like, literally, I have it dated. It's probably, like, exactly a full year of texts that, like, and they're, like, half angry. They're, like, also really sad, and, like, some of them are extremely pathetic. But anyway, a year went by, and I was like, no, I'm still as sad as I was a year ago. Okay, like, I'm fucking going over there. Like, I don't care. So I got takeout, and then I walked there, and then I just sat at the bar and we were chatting for a bit, and he was like, "Are you dating anyone?" And I was like, "No." Okay, this is turning into a tale that I also, another lesson I want to teach just the girls, that like, honestly, the crazier you are, the more they want you back. Like, the more they can't stop thinking about you. Sometimes. I don't know. This is one lesson I've learned.
Or is it just that they kind of always are curious about you no matter what?
Yeah, maybe it's just that they're curious about you no matter what. Because he was like, "Are you seeing anyone?" And I was like, "No." And then we were like, "Okay, let's go catch up at the park." And then we went to the park the next day, and then we like hooked up.
I was so mad about this.
I know. This was peak stupidity. Although it wasn't that stupid because it was a year. So I actually did wait a year.
And you actually, like, were less sad, for sure.
I was less sad, but yeah, anyway. And then we talked on the phone like a cajillion times a day every day. And then one time I called him and he didn't pick up. And then he called me back and I didn't pick up. And then we just never called each other again.
Oh, yeah.
Like, nothing even happened. We both just like, I was just like, I'm not calling him back. And it wasn't like a choice that like, this is the last time. Like, it's just like, I didn't call him back that day. I was just like, I don't feel like doing this. Like we were always talking. It was a codependent, I think, kind of like relationship. Like, we talked on the phone more than I have ever talked on the phone with anyone. I was on the phone with that guy like 24/7. It was absolutely absurd. So even when we like we didn't even reconcile, we didn't even rekindle, I just like whatever started talking on the phone again. And then I don't know, I just didn't want to call him back one day. And then like a week went by and I was like, whoa, cool, like you didn't call him back for a week. And then like that week turned into forever. I haven't spoken to him since. Is that crazy?
It is cool how sometimes when you like let yourself, because it becomes so much about like, I'm not allowed to do this thing. Yeah. So sometimes having something that far out, being like, either I won't care about this in a year, so that's great.
Yeah.
If not, or if I still do, then I'm allowed to do the thing that I'm every day saying
wishing I could do.
And then sometimes you just need to get to that point to like prove to yourself that you can do it, and then be like, okay, I actually don't care that
and then
much.
You just don't give a shit anymore. Actually, one of my friends was telling me, my acupuncturist actually was telling me that she saw her ex-boyfriend for the first time in a year. She had to get her shit, and she like went over to his house to get her shit. What? No. No. Okay, it is, but that's not the ex.
I guess that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was like fucking 10 years ago. Aging yourself.
That's the only person I know she's dating.
Oh, yeah. No,
I haven't kept up with her.
I will tell you. Anyway, she is, I need to set her up with someone because she is a cat. Guys, my acupuncturist is the hottest person in the world. I really need to set her up with someone. Yeah. So, if there's any nice, normal men in Toronto that want to fucking date an acupuncturist, slide in. Slide, baby. Anyway, she was telling me that she went and it was like a year and she picked up her shit and she was like, now I feel like I can date. Like, it was like something about like the year of like building it up in her head because she hadn't seen him and he was dating someone else, and like I think he broke up with her, so she was just like building up this whole thing, and then finally she like just was like, I need to go get my shit, like I'm gonna go get it, and they like had a catch up or whatever, and then she left and she's like, I went on Hinge and I'm like going on a date. I'm like, amazing. Fuck yeah.
Closure.
And that
was not your question at all. But I feel like we sufficiently answered. We told some ex stories and told you what to do.
Yeah, I mean, we told him, we said, fuck off. We said to tell him to fuck off. Why did Joe call me? Can we cancel him?
Oh my god.
Like, he must know.
I also didn't put my phone on D&D, but
I did.
It will still. Oh. Bravo. Okay, what time is it?
It's 5:22. What time? What
time did we start?
Do
one more.
Okay, fine.
Do one more.
Fine. Okay,
we have to wait out the traffic anyway.
Okay, one more instead of the novella. We'll do the novella next time. Okay, Annie.
Okay.
Now let me just see which one I'm gonna pull out here. Did I read this one about moving out?
No.
Okay. This is fun. This is fun because it's a kid. Not a kid, a 21-year-old.
Oh,
but.
Okay.
And you know what? I'll just say this. I was just thinking about how fucking crazy it is that Halen got married at 26.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I didn't think that at the time. At the time, I was like, oh, cool, my first wedding. I just thought, like...
Right.
I don't know. I was like, it's possible a few more can follow these. And now that I'm, like, 32, I'm like, she's been married for 6 years.
Yeah, like, I just got married 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Like, what?
And I feel like a baby.
And she's like our age, and she has like a 3-year-old.
I remember when my sister got married at 25, I was 17, and I was like, whoa, young. And like, that was funny because when you're 17, a 25-year-old sounds so old to you. But I remember when she got engaged, I was like, oh my God, young.
Yeah, true. Well, she was young.
Yeah.
Incredibly.
But it's funny that even a teenager would think that. Because like, I feel like when you're in high school, you're like, I'll be married by the time
I thought everybody was going to be married at 25.
Yeah.
That's why 25 was such a trip.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait, what the hell? I'm like
so incredibly far from this. Not so far because we did meet our husbands at 26, but.
Yeah, I met Joe like 2 months before I turned 27. We met them in October.
Yeah.
So.
I had kind of just turned 26.
Yeah, really, you were a spring chicken. Don't remind me.
Not anymore.
No, you are. You're a
I'm
baby.
1 week into 32.
Are you 6 months younger than me or 5 months? You know how June and July can be the middle depending
5.
on when?
I think December is 6 months.
From you?
Yeah, from June.
February, March, April, May, June. Yeah.
Like my half birthday is December 4th.
Okay, so you're only 5 months younger than me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I think of you as a baby. How cute.
Mean, still 5 months. It ain't nothing.
It ain't nothing. A lot can happen in 5 months. All right. But our mommies were pregnant at the same time. For at least 4 of those months.
Yeah.
That's the overlap there.
That's cool.
All right. Good to know. Okay, moving out. Hi, girls. Patreon subscriber here. Aw, Tenchu. I am a 21 university student, and I stayed home for school. So did I, Queen. I live with my parents in the suburbs.
So did I.
Oh, yeah. We all did here. I live with my parents in the suburbs, even though I would love to live in a downtown apartment close to uni and other students, be alone, and have space to go out, as you would say. Oh wait, go as you would say, ape shit. Okay, we don't say ape shit anymore. I got in trouble for that. Anyway, sadly, mommy and daddy will not be supporting me rent-wise, and they don't want me to move out at all. It takes me an hour to get to school. Anyway, do you think it's worth it to manage rent-wise myself? I'm a waitress, so I could pull through, but I also like buying whatever I want, LOL. Like, should I really start budgeting and put that extra stress on myself? Leave mommy and daddy? Is it even worth it? Should I just enjoy my home meals? Anyway, am I missing out on an important part of being young? Also, I think if I move out and pay for everything, I'll be very jealous and annoyed of the other students around me who get help from their parents. What do you think? Sorry, this is everywhere, all over the place. Okay.
That's tough.
Okay, no.
You have an answer?
No, I was going to say, is this Katie?
Why? Mommy and daddy?
Mommy and daddy? Leave mommy and daddy? Or is this chick hip to how we talk?
I think she's hip to how we talk. I didn't get Katie vibes from this.
Okay. You know what?
I don't think Katie would have said the ape shit thing.
I don't know if Katie would have said the ape shit thing, but Katie also, look, this person typed ... bracket anyway right next to it. Like, it's almost like she didn't press the space bar on purpose to conceal her.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Okay, so you know what? Let's answer this.
Oh, and also a correction from last week. Katie wasn't the Deanna question.
Who the hell was that?
It was just...
Wait, one of you randoms wrote in about Deanna?
One of you randoms? One of you absolute randoms?
Freaks?
Who listen to us every week?
Oh my god, that's why Deanna was spelt wrong. For whoever wrote that in, thanks for answering. Deanna is spelled D-E-A-N-A.
Thanks for answering.
I think so too.
Thanks for answering.
Thanks for answering. Nothing. Thanks for writing in.
Yeah, Katie wrote to us and was like, that wasn't me. Do you think she's lying?
No, she would tell us. I think she's proud of her work.
Yeah.
And also, I think that would, you know what? I think she told us it wasn't her because that would have been lazy on her part. She's been really good at concealing herself lately.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's
I
true.
think
She wouldn't do such a Katie heavy.
Yeah, no,
question.
Just being like Deanna all day, Deanna all night. Although whoever that was did speak exactly like Katie, minus the fact that you spelled Diana. It's not Lady Di. It's Deanna. And I don't know why it's Deanna. It's because Katie loves weird words like that. Like she likes Deanna, like Mordecai, Malachi, Michaelis.
Just, yeah, weird words.
One more thing about Katie that I'll expose. What'd you say?
P9.
P9. Or my big rover. Okay, anyway. Annie doesn't want to talk about that. One more thing I'll expose about Katie is that when I went to visit them in Montreal, this is the kind of weirdo she is. Like, of course, she'd call diarrhea Deanna. Like, it's kind of like a vampire. She had this section that she got these, like, chairs from Kijiji or something, and she was setting it up when I got to visit her apartment, and she was like, oh, this is my vaudeville reading station. vaudeville reading station. What the fuck does that mean? And she's like, do you like the vaudeville reading station? I'm like, first of all, station is wild. Like, vaudeville's okay, actually. Station. Okay. Anyway, you know what?
Yeah, I like it, actually.
We gotta post a picture of the vaudeville, because she has, like, she would post it on her Instagram. She's like, chilling in my vaudeville reading station. I'm like, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna get her to send me pictures of that station so you can see it. Okay, so to answer your question, I absolutely think that you should wait until you find a roommate. That's my opinion. Yeah. Managing rent, I don't know where you live, but if you're talking about Toronto or if you're talking about a big city, I don't know if you can hear that. You definitely can. That siren. Yeah. Ignore. If you're living in like a big city, like not being able to like go out and do whatever you want when you're young is the worst part. If your parents are chill and like don't care when you come home, like you're 21, you don't have a curfew, you don't do anything, like whatever. Like it's like, why would you, like, even though the commute
an hour to get to school,
that is really annoying,
especially for socializing.
Yeah, but that's when you make friends and you sleep over at one of their houses. That's what I did.
True.
I made friends in res, and I would like crash at their house downtown before I moved downtown. But when I did move downtown, I had a roommate. I also just think it's easier. Like, everything's easier when you're that young, when you like live with someone. Like, to manage rent by yourself, like as a waitress.
I was thinking the roommate thing, and for the fun, like that's part of the experience. Yes. Like, you don't want to live alone until later in your life. Like, this is the time in your life to have a roommate.
Literally, okay, again, back to my acupuncturist. She has someone moving into her house, like now, because she like bought a house, so she has like these rooms, and she's like, oh yeah, my friend is moving in. I'm like, that is so elite. Yeah. I'm like jealous of you. Like, having a roommate is fun.
Yeah.
Fucking shit. Especially single girls. Riot.
And it's part of it. Like the funny, silly little times, like you'll end up
the whole show Friends was built off the concept of roommates.
You don't expect.
Yeah.
And I went to university later in life, so I wasn't really having much of a social life at my university because it was all like kids.
Yeah.
So it was so fun going to school when I lived with you because I still felt like I lived
downtown
that
and
life.
had that like student like party.
Yeah, but it wasn't with the people who were actually in class, but I still like lived, we lived like so close to the university, and I chilled with your friends, so it felt like that. And then obviously all of our friends because we were in Toronto.
Yeah.
But
our friends weren't back for a while. Like, it was just me and you for a while.
No, but when I went to university.
No, I know, but even when you first moved in with me, the girls were still at university. Like, no one really lived there. And then we were just lucky that, like, 2 years after that, they all decided to be neighbors with us.
Yeah, true.
But, yeah, I would say, like, I just think that, like, if you are going to move out and, like, I don't know, I'm also in the service industry. I know how, like, unpredictable and random that could be. Like, stressing about rent is so fucking annoying. And you can literally cut that stress in half, especially if the whole purpose of this is to, like, be closer to school, to party, like, whatever. It's like, get a fucking roommate.
Yeah.
And, like, you will enjoy your time better. And if that sucks, then, and you realize you can do it alone, then do that. But I wouldn't, like, go into a 1-year lease solo, spending all that money. Because it's not just rent. It's, like, your groceries, no mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
Cooking, internet, cable, whatever the fuck, like, hydro, whatever else. Like, it turns out to be a lot, and it's so much easier to split that when you're that young.
But I do think it's worth it, though.
To get a roommate to move out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I just think that it's more of
if mommy and daddy lived right next to the school, or right, like, close by, 15 minutes, whatever, half an hour even. Yeah. I just know, as someone who lives over an hour outside of the city now.
Yes.
You, like, think that you'll still do all the same things, and I feel like I've done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
But there are just some things where it's like, I'm not gonna do all that. I have to get an hour home. Like, I have to do this tomorrow. Like, it just does. It
also depends what your commute is. Like, you drive. Like, if your commute is like you're taking the GO train to Vaughan or something.
Yeah.
Like, I have people that I work with at the ACC. All of them live in Vaughan.
That's true.
And all of them hop on the GO train after work. And to them, it's nothing because they're commuters. So they're it's not bad. It's 45 minutes.
And you can still drink. And, like, you don't have to, like, plan around it.
Yeah. So, like, if that's the case, or if you have friends that you can sleep over, I think, obviously, the best case scenario is moving to the city and having a life. I just think make sure that you're in a good financial situation because it's not fun if you're broke. You can't do anything. What's the point?
And you don't want school to suffer. Hate to say it.
Yeah.
You don't want your schooling to suffer.
Totally. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, if you're picking up extra shifts so that you can, like, make enough money so that you can afford to live there, and then you're, like, slacking in school, it's like, just make sure, if you're going to move, make sure you're, like, a little more comfortable. Otherwise, honestly, I had a friend in university that would just get Airbnbs on the weekends downtown.
That seems expensive.
Yeah. Oh, actually,
Yeah.
You know what? This was back when Airbnb wasn't as expensive. Now
Oh.
Airbnb's ridiculous. Now it might be better just to get a hotel or something.
Right.
But I remember he used to just be like, oh yeah, just go on Airbnb for the weekend. I want to stay in the city the weekend because there was something going on.
I wonder if you could like secure a job and then ask your parents like for first and last but pay them back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's like so much money up front.
Yeah, that's
sometimes
true.
when you're getting a place, it's like, I wonder if your
your parents would have co-sign on a place anyway, because most people aren't giving waiters because you're
to 20-year-olds. Yeah.
like because your income is.
Although it sounds like the parents are like, "Ugh, don't like just stay.
Is that the vibe here with the parents?
That's what it sounds like.
No, it says mommy and daddy will not support me
Yeah.
rent-wise, and they
No,
don't
that's what I
want
mean.
me to
It
move
sounds
out
like
at
they
all.
don't want. Yeah, they don't want. her to move
You're
out.
right.
But I wonder if it's like a loan situation, like with the idea that you will pay them back, but maybe.
Yeah, I think the question is, am I missing out on an important part of being young? The answer is you're young for so much longer. So no,
Yeah.
because if you move out at 24,
That's true. You will get this experience.
you can get this experience. If you want that experience in university, the first 2 years of university, I was commuting from home, which my house was half an hour from U of T maybe. And I was commuting from home, and if you want to be like a wacky wacko, just like make some friends downtown and like find places to sleep. Like I literally would bring a backpack downtown and I did not know where I was sleeping, and I just had a very, I'd say probably more insane university experience because I didn't live on campus, and I would like sleep anywhere. It was actually so fun. I was on so much Prozac I didn't care, but I would like literally sleep on anyone's floor if there was a party, and people would like let you. That's what I learned.
If you want to do that,
yeah.
it's true. It is like so much more money than just rent.
It is. And I will say, like, based on what I just told you, I still, even though I did not live on campus and lived uptown, I still really felt like I enjoy. It's more like what you make it. Are you going out? Are you partying?
Yeah.
Because you can make it work. There's people that live an hour away and they can make it work.
Yeah.
So I would do that. I would still.
I will say though, and you would agree with me, getting a restaurant job can be really fun. It's a
She
great
is a waitress.
Oh, I thought she said, should I become one?
Oh no, I thought she said she is a waitress.
No, I think she said, should I get a waitressing job?
Oh, is that what?
Because if
she
you're
said?
already a waitress, then you should know if you can afford this or not.
I'm a waitress, so I could pull through, but I also like
Oh,
buying whatever I want.
Oh, I thought she said, should I?
No, man, you like buying whatever you want. Just enjoy your, if you want to be
That's
downtown,
true.
make it your business to party, and then move down there in 3 years when you're done school and have like more money. Like in 3 years, you're going to be 24. Even if you move downtown when you're 25, like I feel like 25 was like my peak havoc year. That was peak staring out the window, waiting for Alex to drive by.
Fun.
Year.
You could have that.
You could be unhinged for so long, so much longer than you want to be.
Yeah, that's true. That is still so young. And it's much better to stay at your parents' longer than to move out and then move back.
Oh, yeah. It's so much more depressing moving back. And it's actually so funny because
So it's like you might as well save up and like do it while it's still
and then
socially
get
acceptable.
Out. It's so funny because when we're putting our condo up, and my aunt yesterday, like this is also very Euro. Like everybody like lives with their parents until they're fucking 45, and like it's just insane. And my aunt was telling me yesterday, she goes, well, okay, so if you can't get like a place on time, like by the time your condo sells, you can just move in with your parents. So I'm like, yeah, of course. Like if it's like, a couple months, whatever, like that's exactly what I would do.
You think I didn't think of that?
Yeah, of course. And she's like, and you could turn that basement into such a nice little apartment. You got a kitchenette down there, and then like you're good for 2 years. I literally,
arbitrary amount of time.
I bacawed. I was like, 2 years? Are you on crack? I'm 32. I haven't lived at home since I was 19.
You're like, yeah, I'm gonna have a fucking 2 kids down there.
What? Honestly, probably sick for me. Kids.
Yeah.
But no, absolutely not. Live in a basement with my children? Not like that's bad. Not like that's bad, but live in my parents' basement with my children? Why would I do that?
Especially when you're selling your condo like for fun, basically.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you're selling it because you're like, oh shit, like times are tough, got it. Like No, okay, I'd just stay in my condo in that case.
Yeah,
like you're only
obviously.
selling the condo so you could like get a
house.
You're
That's
not selling
the
the
point.
condo to move into a basement.
She's like, you can save some money. I'm like, if I wanted to save money, I'd stay in the condo.
Of course.
That we've half paid off. Clearly. We're not trying to save money. We're trying to spend stupid money in Toronto to get a house. And we went and saw another house this morning. And I get recognized at every open house.
Really?
Yeah, and I look like shit at all of them because I never expect to be going. So I always roll up.
By other patrons or by
By
the
other
real estate?
patrons. They're like, oh, that TikTok bitch is my competition. And I go, yeah, mama. Buckle up.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, and they're always like, you're short.
Yeah, people say that to me too.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah.
You're not, though. You're 5'4". Not like me 5'3"
I think
over
I wore
here.
heels on the show.
Yeah, you were clocking around. Like, you were clip-clopping. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you were
I know.
clip-clopping around big time
Yeah, I know what you mean.
on Degrassi. Anyway.
Also, I was just thinking one more thing about moving out is I forgot about the privilege of the fact that your dad owned our place and our rent was so cheap.
We were so lucky.
So, I mean, like, yeah, just moved downtown. My rent was $500 fucking dollars.
$500
for years.
To be fair, though, the rent that my friends were paying, eat your blintz, the rent that my friends were paying at U of T at that time, like, we were paying $500 because my dad, the place was a fucking wreck, right? Like, it was so old. My dad didn't want to put tenants in there because there were tenants in there before us. This is how we even got to living there. The tenants before us obviously complained about everything. There's squirrels in the walls. It's freezing in here. Cockroaches. Doors broken. Homeless people in the little vestibule. Like, they were complaining about everything, and they were a married couple, and they lived there for like 10 years, and my dad's like, and then they're like, the roof is broken. The fuses keep blowing, whatever. He's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put my 19-year-old daughter and her friend in there, and I'm just going to say, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Don't ask me
The deal
for
is
shit.
cheap rent and
The deal is, I want to sell
comes
this
as is.
Yes, the deal is, don't ask me for anything. Also, I'm selling this building, so you just stay here and don't bother me till I find someone to buy it.
That's exactly
and
what we
that's
did.
what we did. So we were very lucky in that sense. But it's funny because like that's all we kind of knew. So like as we got older, everybody was kind of like, not everybody, but our fucking husbands really brought to light that we were living kind of in a shithole. And now it's funny because my dad says that to me. He's like, I can't believe you lived there for so long. I'm like, I can't believe how lucky I am. Like, I won the fucking lottery.
Well, it was such a great place. It was. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, good bones. Good bones.
Good
in
bones,
that
except
place.
not the best bones, because one time Mike Gray fell down the stairs and put a ball hole in the wall. It wasn't even that hard. Like, the wall was like this thin.
But I guess by good bones, I mean, like the layout, sprawling, huge bedrooms, huge living space. Like,
it was insane.
It was, like,
It
they
was
just
insane.
don't make them like that
They
anymore.
really don't. They really don't. It was crazy. But why was I talking about that? Oh, because that's why we were able to move in there. But I was going to say, my friends at U of T, like, back
Also,
then.
that location.
That location, yeah. We were right at Avondale.
Like Yorkville.
But my friends at U of T were paying $700 a month back then. And I remember hearing that Liz was paying $500 in Kingston and thinking that was crazy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, do you realize
In like a full house.
yeah, like it was a bedroom in a house,
Yeah.
but like obviously the student ghetto in Kingston, like they can just rake it in because everybody wants to live there. So of course but back like 2010, that was crazy money. Like not $500, but like everybody was paying, like 3 people would have a house. It would be like
Under $1,800
Yeah, like for all of them. Like no one was paying more than $1,000 in rent in 2010.
No.
It was wild.
No,
So
that's true.
we did get a good deal, but
It's more that ours just never raised. Like, I think at the very end, I lived there for 7 years. It was
think you were paying-
$650.
I feel like you were paying $700 at one point.
I don't know that it ever went there.
I don't know. No, probably because you had to pay me for the hydro.
Right. So maybe it ended up
Gave me
being that.
$50 a month or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, if you can find yourself a good deal,
If you can find yourself a good deal and a
But-
fucking good roommate, anything goes.
yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
okay. Annie said okay. We are going to our friend's house for
A little dinner, a little catch up,
yes.
sitting in the backyard. What time is it?
It is 5:42. We just talked for 20 minutes. Didn't I just say it was 5:22 a second ago?
That's perfect.
Wow.
And I bet you it's going to be an hour and a half because every time I look at the end, it is an hour.
I would love to know. Let's take a peekaboo here. We'll do Patreon remote, obviously, because I'm going to.
Yes.
Maybe we can do that tomorrow because I am going to. Where the fuck am I going? I'm going to Victoria this weekend. Everybody.
Yeah.
I'm so
I know. I
flippin'
realized
excited.
on that Patreon you set up the thing about the wedding.
Yes.
But
And
we're gonna
Katie
have
asked me
another
about it, so she's going to want to know about that. On the
I know,
Patreon,
she
I
asked me
divulged
too.
that I might not be. There's 2 weddings. Okay, I just actually can't talk about it. It has to be a Patreon only subject, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So,
But I forgot we were going to have one more in between.
yes.
But it's fine.
Oh, that's fine because I can say more details about how much this affects the issue at hand. Excellent. Okay, everybody. Well, I think
we've done it.
we've done it, which is great. We will see you next week. Oh, weird fucking. You say something.
Thank you for listening.
Okay. Write in.
Write in.
Yes,
Write in.
Yes,
Dol.
write in. Dol. Write in, and we fucking love you guys. And now we have to drive over to our friend's house on the other side of the city, and it's crazy because I live right downtown, but it's going to take us an hour to get there. So
that
ciao.
sucks. Them's the breaks.
Them's the breaks. All right. Love
Bye.
y'all. Kiss, kiss.